So good morning, Chamber of Commerce. We're so glad to have our members here with us today and our members that'll be watching us at a later date. With all of the regulations and the restrictions that have had to happen because of COVID, we felt like it was really important to reach out to our chamber members who have not really established an online presence yet. And we know many of you are busy just going day to day to keep things afloat and open. So we wanted to make it easier for you to talk to an expert, to listen to Jamie Johnson with us here today, and to hear how maybe you can put your business more online so that during this pandemic, you were able to operate more effectively and reach your same customer base or even new customer bases. So we are going to now introduce Jamie Johnson. She is a business coach for the Owensboro office of the Kentucky Small Business Development Center. Jamie is a native of Owensboro, and she's been working in different capacities around our community for the last 10 years. She's held positions at the Greater Owensboro Chamber of Commerce, that's a shout out, the Convention Center, and Marshall Ventures, and she's also a published author. She earned a bachelor's degree in corporate and organizational communication from Western Kentucky University, and she is a graduate of the Leadership Owensboro class of 2013. Jamie's also served as a director on Girls Inc. and the Owensboro Dance Theater boards. She and her husband, Logan, have two young sons, Henry and Simon. And I will say, if you have not followed Jamie yet on her social media accounts, it's #MomFails. And I love reading that. I get to relive the days when I had two small children and you never knew what was going to happen next. Jamie has two boys. And I will say, from just having one boy, you never know what's going to happen next. So with that, Jamie, thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate the important work you're doing in our community, and we like to welcome you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Working at the Chamber taught me a lot of the things that I talk about today. So I had to give you all a shout out for that. I really appreciate it. And thanks for saying you like my mom feels.
Well, we're so proud of you, Jamie. We're just so happy to have you here today.
Well, thank you so much. So to kick things off, we are going to talk today about building an online presence for your small business. I work for the Kentucky Small Business Development Center, and we have funding through several different sources, through the Small Business Administration, the University of Kentucky, and here locally through the Greater Owensboro Economic Development Corporation. So I just want to say thank you to them for helping make this position happen. I'm here to help small businesses, and it's through funding like this that all of the services that I offer are totally free. So that's always exciting. Free help, you can't pass that up. So let's go over what we are going to talk about today. First, we're going to go over why you need an online presence, what you need for an online presence, technology needed for a website or online store, e-commerce platforms, and communicating with your customer. Because of the coronavirus, obviously things have changed so much. And one thing is that people are using e-commerce and buying online a lot more. So let's just start with some statistics. 1 in 5 small businesses don't use any kind of digital marketing, no social media, no website, nothing. On the other hand, 68% of consumers who conduct local searches on their phones go to a store within 24 hours, and nearly 50% make a purchase within that day. So if you are not somewhere that someone on their smartphone can't Google or look up immediately, then you're really missing out on revenue and new customers. So why you need an online presence? Let's just start by saying we live in a digital era. We always have our phones in our hands, or we always know where our phones are. We have made the word Google a verb. We live in a digital era, and businesses, this came on quickly, but you really have to pivot your strategy so you can still sell what you used to sell now that people can't come into stores as often. You do need brand recognition. People need to know your business, and they need to know what your business does. And a lot of times you cannot do that without any kind of digital marketing. This can also expand your market. Owensboro is a hub for other, outlying counties, other cities. So you want to use digital marketing in your online presence to reach those people that are physically still probably very close by. And then it brings in an additional revenue stream, and that ties into the same thing for convenience for shoppers. An online store is open 24/7. When we decide that we want something, we want it then, and we usually want free shipping with it too. But an online store being open 24/7 gives the ability for people to shop at night. Like I shop after the kids go to bed, and I'm laying in bed at night. I think about something like, oh, I forgot I need a sweater or something, and I'll go online and I'll order a sweater. It just makes things a lot easier, and people love convenience. So this is an example of one Owensboro business that is doing an exceptional job with their online presence, and that is Bella Ragazza Boutique. I spoke with Natasha, the owner, and she said it would be great if I could use them as an example. So this is their Facebook page. I love Bella Ragazza, but I honestly did not shop with them until they really moved a lot of their stuff onto Facebook. Their office hours, sorry, their store hours were my office hours. So it was really difficult for me to get there during the day when I wanted to order something. So one day when I was going through Facebook and I saw that I could order directly from their Facebook page, that was fantastic. I've probably spent a lot more money than I should there. But this is a really good site to look at if you're looking for an example of someone that does a really good job with their online presence. This is just a picture they posted of a sweater. Like you can click right there and it shows this is a sweater, this is how much it is. And then the next page, you can actually add it directly to your cart. So what's easier than that? People love convenience. So right now, the e-commerce industry is growing 23% year over year, yet 46% of small businesses still don't have a website. A lot of times people are scared, they're nervous, they don't know what to do. It might seem overwhelming, but that's kind of where I come in. I can help you with anything like this, and my services are free. But what you need for an online presence, you need a website. Websites are extremely important. If someone Googles you or searches for a place that sells widgets, they need a place to land, they need information about your business, and they need your contact information at the very least. Social media is a very easy, fast, and inexpensive way to have an online presence. A Facebook business page is free, an Instagram account is free, and you can spend a couple of $100s a month or even over a couple of months to boost some posts, and you can get a lot more recognition on your social media. Lastly is Google My Business. If you are not aware, every business has their Google listing. You can actually go claim your business's Google listing. That way you can put up pictures that you like. You can make postings on your Google My Business page. You can make sure your store hours are on there. You can show days that the store, might be closed, special days, hours for Christmas Eve, hours for Black Friday. And you can also kind of manage that listing. So a lot of people leave reviews on Google. So if you have your Google My Business account and someone puts up a review and say it is negative for some reason, you can actually go in and respond to that. And I think that that holds a lot of weight, where you can go in and respond to someone that maybe said something negative and say, I'm so sorry that you had a bad experience. We're trying to do better, and try to rectify the situation. So pretty much an online presence is important for all businesses. This is not just for retail. You can sell services online as well. So right now, e-commerce sales account for 14.1% of all retail sales worldwide, and that equals $4.13 trillion just in the year 2020. That is a crazy amount of money. By the year 2040, it's estimated that 95% of all purchases will be made through e-commerce. So this isn't something that's going away. And if you're not already using e-commerce or have an online presence, it's something that you definitely need to work on doing. So to create a website or an online store, there are a couple of things that you need. You need your web address. That's the name of your website. So it could be, bettyswidgets.com or whatever you sell. Then web hosting. So your web host is what contains all of your files. So your website address points to your web host, which contains all of your files. Then there's the platform, and that's what you use to build the customer facing side of your website. And I'll have a whole slide on different e-commerce platforms, but some examples of platforms are, WordPress and Wix. And then you also need payment processing if you are going to be selling on your site, PayPal, Square, things along that line. So this is technology and where you get it. So I said, what it is, but where do you go to get these different types of technology? You can buy a web address on GoDaddy.com, Hover.com. Web hosting, there's Bluehost, there's SiteGround. I use SiteGround. I really like it. I think that they do a good job, but I'm sure Bluehost does well. Pay processing, like I said earlier, this is how your consumers are going to pay you for your goods. So Square, PayPal, anything along those lines. And there are there are so many of these companies now. These are just some of the ones that are the most used. There are a lot of different platforms that you can use to sell on your website. So if you have a current website, let's say you have WordPress and you want to add a store, what you would do is you would get a website, your WordPress, and you would add a plugin. Actually, let me go to the next slide. There we go. So you would get your site and you would get a plugin. That's a typo. Sorry about that. Plug on. It's not right. So for WordPress, you would use WooCommerce, or you can use Ecwid for pretty much any other platform. I will say that WordPress is it's more difficult to use, whereas some of these other platforms are more drag and drop and they're a little bit easier to use. A website with a store feature like Wix or Weebly. If you already have your site on Wix, all you have to do is upgrade your plan so that you can add the store feature. And then there are also standalone stores. So Shopify, this is an example of a Shopify store down here. And Squarespace, those are different platforms that you can use that are just standalone stores. So you also have your marketplaces where you can sell your items, such as Etsy and Amazon. Even Walmart.com has a marketplace now where third-party vendors can sell their items. And then there are also social media shops, your Facebook shop, your Instagram shop that tie to your social media accounts. And this is another one from Bella Ragazza. They have a full Facebook shop, which is great. So if you're like, oh, I think that I need to buy something online. I've had a bad day. I do that sometimes. You can just go to their Facebook profile and look at their shop and go through what they have available with the pricing, shows if it has a discount. That's a great option to use. I do want to say, if you do start a website or you do start doing e-commerce, make sure that you have the time to make sure that the site and the photos are high quality, make sure that you have time to fill out the product descriptions and the necessary information, and make sure that you have the time to really keep your inventory on track. Because the last thing you want is for someone to order something and then you be like, oh, sorry, I forgot to update my inventory. I don't have that any longer. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. So let's talk about communicating with your customer. 60% of consumers say they've purchased as the result of an email marketing message that they've received. I do this all the time. If I get an email, lately I've been getting a lot of emails that it's like 60% off, 70% um, off of this sweater, or off of this jacket. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a great deal. I can't pass that up. So yeah, I'm one of the 60% that have purchased as a result of an email marketing message. And for email marketing, it yields $44 for each $1 you spend. That's a 4,400% return on investment. That is amazing. So the first thing you want to do is communicate with your customer through email. Do not forget about them after the sale, especially if they come in store. Make sure that you are capturing their email address so that you can get in touch with them later. Your consumer wants to hear from you, but they do prefer that it's done via email. A study showed that 61% of people preferred to receive their information via email when it came to sales and promotions. You can use Constant Contact, which I know if you're a chamber member, you can get a discount on Constant Contact, or MailChimp to send emails promoting sales that you're having, giving discounts. Maybe one day you want to send out an email to your top customers and give them a 10% discount. The possibilities are endless, but it's really important. You know, I wouldn't flood them with an email every day, but maybe once a week saying, oh, hey, we got these new products in. Keep in touch with them so they know what's going on. You're also going to want to communicate with your customer through social media. And when you do this, you need to not only post your products and sales, promotions, things like that, but you want to become an expert on your store and what you do at your store. So let's say that you sell jewelry. You need to post, useful, relevant links on your page about the jewelry industry and, what's the latest and greatest, what are the latest trends that are going on. And then maybe this is the latest trend. And oh, by the way, we offer this as well. You need to be transparent and let your customer know your mission. People now want to know what your company stands for. Is your company, do they use only buy organic, and they're very all about, the earth and recycling and things like that? Or is your company a candy company and you don't worry about sugar and butter and all of that? You just want people to enjoy something, rich and decadent. So you really need to just kind of let people see a little bit about your business as well. The last thing you want to do is create live videos or creative posts via Canva. Social media is such a cool platform where you can be super creative and you can let people see all kinds of different things. People love to see live videos, especially someone that has maybe been shopping online. They might want to see the people behind the scenes that are making all of this happen, or see, like, as Bella Ragazza does, as my example, they do live videos a lot and show new items that have come in. You can also make some really creative posts with cool pictures and fonts and backgrounds that really catch people's attention with your logo on them. And the software that you use to do that, the main one that I use is called Canva. There are others out there, but I personally believe that Canva is the best right now. So that is just some information about the importance of building your online presence. And here is some of my information. And are there any questions?
So I think we've had a couple of questions live and we've answered those, Jamie. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with before we we end today's session. And if anyone has a question, you can do it on your Q&A, and I'll answer those live to you right now.
I just want to say that this is an online presence is so important right now. It might seem overwhelming, it might seem scary as something to start, but you really just have to jump in and get started. I'm happy to help people do things like this to create a Facebook account or a web page. I have a lot of experience doing that. But yeah, it's really important, and you might as well take the leap now.
Yes, absolutely. And we want to encourage everyone watching to do that and to reach out to Jamie if you need assistance. If you have clients that may need assistance, please share her information. And in the meantime, we want to continue to remind everyone to shop local. You can shop curbside. You can do carry out at local restaurants. We even have, like, the Pub on Second does carry out for drinks. Mile Wide does carry out for drinks. All of your different places in town, a lot of our restaurants will do that as well. So please shop local. Encourage your friends to do that. We're going to get through this, and when we're on the other side, we're going to be even stronger than we were to begin with. And Jamie, thank you so much for your help and for your constant spirit in our community of making things better and helping our small businesses.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody.